postpartum was probably the hardest part of pregnancy. Hi guys, so I'm going to talk about something that I feel like not a lot of women know about or they're told about, because I wasn't told about this at all from my doctors or from anyone really until it was already happening to me. I'm going to talk about D-Mer, D-Mer, however you want to pronounce it. It's an acronym for dysphoric milk ejection reflex. So it's basically when a woman's dopamine levels go all the way down as they're having like a letdown feeling, or they're feeding their baby for the first couple minutes while breastfeeding. So I'm talking from a personal experience. I don't know how everyone's experience will go. I'm not saying this is the only way it happens, but I struggle with anxiety already. So I thought it was just something like, it was just me, you know. At first it had to do with making sure that she was eating, was she latching, was she getting enough nutrients. I thought it was, but now that I'm more comfortable with breastfeeding and I still get this reaction, I know it's not just me. So some of the things that I feel are, I get really depressed, I get really anxious, really angry, irritable, I get really bitchy, and if you're around me I'll probably snap on you while I'm feeding her. I don't get violent, I don't get like anything like that, so I'm not like a danger to myself or my baby or anyone around me, but it can get to that point where it can make you want to hurt yourself, your baby, or other people, just based off of what I've read. I've personally never gotten aggressive. I've gotten like mean, like I've said things, I've snapped really bad, completely acted out of character. And I feel like more people need to talk about this. I looked up on YouTube like people dealing with it, and there's not a lot of stuff. If you look it up, it's more like doctors, and it's like 2 to 3 minute videos, and they're talking about how they're like usually diagnosed with postpartum depression and not this. And that's great that you're putting a little bit of knowledge out there. My doctor never he talked about postpartum depression. He never talked about D-Mer, but postpartum depression is like the more known one, so that's probably why he only talked about it. I don't know, but I feel like more women need to be prepared for postpartum than we really are. Like, I thought pregnancy was difficult, especially doing it alone, but the postpartum part was the most difficult, the most challenging, when my hormones are just trying to find a balance again, when my body is just trying to go back to normal again, to kind of absorb what was going on around me. It was very difficult. I am very thankful I am able to breastfeed the way I am. I'm able to produce milk normal, and honestly I'm really lucky to be able to do that, because I love that my baby is getting something that I know is benefiting her, something that helps create antibodies when she's sick or when I'm sick, and it helps her stay protected. Like, there's just so many benefits to breastfeeding that I am very lucky that my body lets me do that. But I hate breastfeeding because I put myself in the worst possible position, someone who already struggles with anxiety day in and day out, to basically guarantee myself I'm going to feel shitty for the first 1 to 3 minutes while I'm breastfeeding. I should pump more to collect more milk supply, or supply more milk for Everly. I should do it, but I don't, because when I pump it is way worse. It's not just one breast at a time, it's both, and it is the most difficult and the most painful thing I can do to myself. And that's why I supplement. I do formula and I do breast milk, and honestly it is just something that I wish could go away, but from what I've read, there's nothing that can stop it. It's going to happen every time I breastfeed, and when I start to wean off from breastfeeding, it's going to be very difficult for me. Just with what I've read, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I'm going to try and make it another 6 months when she's a year old and can actually have other milks, like supplement milks, like almond milk or whole milk, whatever it is that she can have at a year old. I'm going to probably stop breastfeeding. Like, this needs to be talked about more, because I feel like if someone is prepared mentally, they know what this is going to feel like, they can take the right precautions, they can choose if breastfeeding is right for them. I'm not going to tell someone how to feed their kid, you know what I mean? I know I'm a hypocrite. You shouldn't feel guilty for not wanting to breastfeed, but I feel guilty for not wanting to breastfeed. I am preaching to the choir of who doesn't want to breastfeed, you know? Like, I know it is difficult to deal with, but I've already gone 6 months, and I'm going to try to go 6 more months, but I don't even know if I'm capable of doing so, because I hate it.